When it comes to Akatsuki duos, Itachi and Kisame are two of my personal favorites. When they showed up in part 1 of Naruto, just seeing Itachi foderize Kurenai and Asuma and then demolish Kakashi with a single glance, it truly had me hyped. It felt like Itachi and Kisame were a force too powerful to be reckoned with. As the series went on, we saw more glimpses into their relationship and learned the backstories of each character. However, what if I told you what we saw in Naruto Volume 54, where Kisame was warning Itachi about the two of them eventually fighting and comparing them to sharks who were now having to eat each other, wasn't the only time that Kisame warned Itachi about a future fight between the two of them. What if I told you there was a moment during their partnership where Kisame openly doubted if Itachi was truly all in on the Akatsuki and wondered if one day Kisame would have to kill his partner for betraying the Akatsuki's cause? Well, in today's History of Naruto video, I'm going to share with you guys the moment when Kisame warned Itachi to never betray the Akatsuki. The information is given to us in the Akatsuki Hiden novel, Evil Flowers in Full Bloom. It's in this novel that Sasuke has finished his redemption journey and is on his way back to Konoha, but along the way he takes one final detour for a personal side mission in order to learn more about the Akatsuki members. It's during this time that Sasuke uncovers dark truths about his brother Itachi, seeing just how much Itachi truly suffered while being a member of the Akatsuki, as well as how despite Kisame's suspicions about Itachi, that Itachi never broke his role as a double agent. Now, as a challenge to you guys, if this video hits 3,000 likes, I'll make What If Itachi Betrayed the Akatsuki a what if where Itachi turns on the Akatsuki, and I'll explore the potential fallout. Now, this scene that takes place happens just as Itachi and Kisame are about to be ambushed by tracker ninja from the Hidden Mist village who attempted to collect their bounties, cornering them and forcing the duo to fight for their survival. It's here that we learn as far back as Itachi's early days as a member of the Akatsuki that there were severe doubts about his loyalty. In fact, in this scene, Kisame directly tells Itachi that he knows that his heart isn't truly with the organization, to which Itachi smartly never replies. What I'll do for you guys now is read the selected parts of the scene and then come back to you guys to discuss what we just went over, and it's here I'm gonna begin quoting. "Can't sleep, Itachi-san." Itachi heard a voice calling him from behind. Turning his head, there stood a great-bodied man, carrying the sword known as Samihara, the monster of the Hidden Mist village, Hoshigaki Kisame, Itachi's partner in the Akatsuki. "You left so quietly that I thought you pulled out the Akatsuki." His words were impossible to discern between a joke and seriousness. When Itachi narrowed his eyes, Kisame grinned. "Please don't look at me like that. It's a pain to disturb somebody's alone time. But the purpose of Akatsuki's team is to also monitor one another. We don't know who or when someone will betray it, like Orochimaru did back then." Itachi remained silent. "So, I've been thinking, I'm proud to be able to be with you as your partner. At any rate, you are the genius of the Uchiha clan. On the day that you do betray the Akatsuki, I have the duty of being entrusted with being a great step for that genius." Itachi gave no reply and returned his gaze to the moon, ignoring Kisame. So what's so truly fascinating about this is the fact that we see tension building between the two Akatsuki partners, but we also see how dangerous of a life that Itachi lived as a double agent. On one hand, despite being someone who desired peace, Itachi had to willingly kill any innocent people who got in his way on missions that he and Kisame took, like the family of the two young boys that Sasuke ran into on his redemption journey that happens in the prologue of this novel. On the other hand, he also had to spy on the group from within, waiting for the perfect moment to be the thumbscrew that unraveled them. Kisame, someone who is no stranger to operating in a morally gray area, is now openly wondering when Itachi will betray the Akatsuki, going so far as to bluntly state that Itachi will indeed betray them. But in his closing monologue, he states that one day they will have to fight and that that day will come soon. To Itachi's credit, Kisame's closing words can also be read as Kisame admitting that he can't defeat Itachi in a battle. You have to look at it like this: Kisame just called Itachi a genius, and going so far as to call himself a step for Itachi on that path. However, it can also be read as Kisame warning Itachi that any battle they fight won't go as smoothly as Itachi might think. Now, let's not kid ourselves. If anyone found out that Itachi was a true spy, things wouldn't have ended well for him depending on the situation, especially as his illness began to rob his body of its true power. If you you've seen my True Power series on the Akatsuki members, then you know just how deep and diverse the abilities of these ninjas are, outside of Hidan of course. Each ninja, if given prep time, could potentially cause a problem for Itachi. Another thing to consider is that Obito knew of Itachi's intention, but due to the information that Itachi possessed, he couldn't act against Itachi. That in itself shows just how dangerous of a life Itachi lived as a spy. Not only was he in a silent cold war with Obito, but he also had a very suspicious partner, and one wrong move could lead to him having to fight off the Akatsuki, which could be seen as a suicide mission for a very sick Itachi. This also speaks highly of Kisame, showing that his observation skills aren't to be questioned by anyone, since very early on in their partnership, he detected that there was something different about Itachi and decided to keep a close eye on him. Even Itachi himself has a monologue where he can't determine if Kisame is joking with his threats or if he's being serious, which ultimately led to Itachi taking the safe route and keeping his mouth shut. The fact that Kisame openly asked Itachi if he had finally left Akatsuki shows that this was a possibility that Kisame had considered in the past. He knew that Itachi wasn't who he pretended to be, which is why he warned him that the other purpose of two-man teams was to keep a close eye on one another to avoid another Orochimaru situation, where one member acts in their own self-interest at the expense of Akatsuki's goals. Kisame spoke in an absolute when it came to Itachi betraying Akatsuki, which puts another layer of tension to the scene, which is all the more reason why Itachi didn't feed into this conversation. Language is really important here. Kisame could have said if Itachi would have betrayed them, but instead he said when the day came, which shows you just where he stood on his theory. Now, as another reminder, if this video hits 3,000 likes, I'll make What If Itachi Betrayed the Akatsuki, and as a question to you guys, I want to ask, how do you think Itachi would fare in a battle against both Kisame and another separate battle against the other Akatsuki members? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Let me know which member of the Akatsuki outside of Pain do you think would give Itachi a bit of trouble. But as always guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching all into the end. Have an awesome day guys.